Yes, welcome to Manchester. And as Faye says, at least for tonight, the centre of the sporting universe. Khan versus Brook comes live to you from this great city later this evening on TalkSport and only on TalkSport. But first, the footballing bout of the weekend. At one time, this was a heavyweight matchup. Spurs were always the scrappy underdog, but they had more than a puncher's chance. In fact, on more than one occasion, they significantly landed a blow on Manchester City. Title challenges and Champions League finals, though, were fleeting. Now they are bobbing and weaving to nick a place in the top four. Something their own manager says is probably about a 1% chance. Conte thinks that Spurs are flyweight in the transfer market and on the pitch. They need more fighting nous if they want to challenge. City, well, they're super heavyweight. They floored Norwich without breaking a sweat, put Brentford on the canvas with ease, and watched on as champions of Portugal Sporting threw in the towel. But like any true champion, Mickey Gray, they're not going to be satisfied until they've won it all.
Absolutely, Sam. As just mentioned there before to Faye, the only thing missing from this football club is that Champions League trophy. And they drive for it every single season. They came the closest that they've ever came at the end of last season against Chelsea. But look, winning back-to-back Premier League titles is hard enough. I didn't get close to winning one of them. But that's what Pep Guardiola does. Every domestic club that he's worked under, Barcelona, Bayern Munich and Manchester City, he wins domestic trophies. He knows the importance of it. And I keep mentioning this. The football that I'm seeing at this club at the moment is as good as I've seen in the Premier League. Whether it's the best team or not, you can question that. You can have your favourites. But what I see here on a weekly basis is fantastic.
Well, let me give you the two teams, starting with the home team, which is Manchester City. Ederson is their goalkeeper. Their right back is Kyle Walker, after missing out in midweek and having his suspension for the Champions League confirmed as well yesterday afternoon. He's back into the team, one of two changes. Ruben Diaz, Laporte and Cancelo make up the back four. Rodri, Gundogan and Bernardo Silva in midfield, with the likes of De Bruyne, Foden and Sterling up top. We will clarify the formation once things start. For Tottenham Hotspur, it's Lloris in goal. Romero, Dyer and Davis are the back three. Emerson Royal, Højbjerg, Bentancur and Sessegnon across the middle, with Kulusevski making his first start with Son and Kane. The atmosphere jumping inside the Etihad Stadium, and Manchester City are ready and raring to go in light blue shirts, shorts and socks, and Tottenham Hotspur, who will get us started in white shirts, dark blue shorts and dark blue socks. Our referee today is Anthony Taylor. Craig Pawson is the fourth official. Lee Mason and Darren Cann are in the VAR room. And before we start, all of the players and officials take the knee, joining with those asking for racial equality and social justice. And then we are underway live on TalkSport. Our coverage of Khan versus Brook starts on the conclusion of this match. Gareth A. Davis, Adam Catterall, Conor Benn and Andy Clark are ringside. But first, it's City against Tottenham, who are trying to stay in the scrap as long as possible and hoping to nick it one way or another. This is TalkSport, powered by fans, and the home of football, at the home of Manchester City, who have the ball deep inside their own half and will be determined to try and knock Spurs out early.
No, absolutely, Sam. They have to try and get a stranglehold in the game as quick as they possibly can, Spurs. Whenever that ball comes to them, they have to make it stick. Got to get those wing-backs involved in this game as quick as they possibly can. It is Emerson and Sessegnon, right and left. But as we've seen on many occasions from Manchester City, they dictate everything. The system, I think we read out at the beginning of the game, is the system that Manchester City are playing. But look, they're going to try and get it Tottenham as quick as they possibly can. I talked in the build-up to this game about it being a flat-back five for Spurs. And it's probably going to be the case for the first 20-25 minutes.
And Hugo Lloris, making his 400th appearance for Spurs, bowls the ball out to the right edge of the area. Romero nudges it forward and Tottenham try to build up the pitch. It comes to the halfway line and Sessegnon, who's standing in front of Pep Guardiola. He releases the South Korean Heung-min Son, who goes darting down the left but is in an offside position. I actually think the formation has already been tweaked by Manchester City. The back four is as we prescribed. Rodri will sit in midfield, and then there's it's almost like a three-man midfield with Gundogan, De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva acting almost as 3 false number 9s, with Sterling hugging the right touchline and Foden hugging the left touchline. We shall see. Obviously there is no centre forward, and the ball is deep inside Manchester City territory. It's slid forward by Laporte out towards the wide right position, collected by Cancelo. Cancelo goes infield to Bernardo Silva, who just drops outside the area. Foden fights for the ball, doesn't get it back again, but Bernardo Silva is rashing around Romero, who's forced to play it back to Dyer. I think Antonio Conte is delighted to have Dyer back in the team. His statistics are pretty encouraging. Tottenham have conceded 12 goals and kept no clean sheets in the last 7 games in all competition that he has missed, whereas they've conceded just 6 goals and kept 4 clean sheets in the 8 games that he has played in, the last 8 games that he has played in. Foul on Højbjerg gives Tottenham the ball, but they only have it sporadically. It's picked up again on halfway by Manchester City, the champions, and the team that hope to be champions for a 4th time in 5 seasons. And it's taken wide towards the left-hand side, where it's collected by Aymeric Laporte, and then it comes back infield towards Walker. Walker slides it down the right, looking for Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne now tries to get beyond Son, and then it's picked up and taken wide towards the right, collected by Walker, and then sent out towards the far side, and they look to change the angle of the attack, Manchester City. Laporte taking it wide into João Cancelo. A deep cross towards the far post. It's over the head of Raheem Sterling. It goes out of play.
Well, the build-up play from Manchester City is fantastic. You know, it's like the ball's on a piece of string and they just work it from left to right, and the more they do that, the higher up the pitch that they get, and they just wait for those quality players like Kevin De Bruyne, Sterling, Gundogan to get on the ball, Sam, and just break you down. What's going to be interesting this afternoon or this evening is Son looks like he's more playing on this left-hand side. Now, Kyle Walker just got him back.
Oh, lovely ball by Kane. Swings it over the halfway line. Down the left for Son, who's racing at the goalkeeper, Ederson, into the penalty area. Gets chopped, lays it back to the edge of the box. And on his first start, it's a goal for Kulusevski from the edge of the area against Manchester City. 4 minutes on the clock, and Tottenham Hotspur lead away at the Etihad Stadium. And that is an early jab to the throat of Manchester City. Tottenham on the counter-attack once again. They've done this before to Pep Guardiola, and they've done it again. Inside the first 4 minutes, a lovely ball by Kane round the corner to Son. Son got to the edge of the area. He went inside to try and take on Ederson. He got chopped but released the ball. Ederson could have got done for giving away a penalty had Kulusevski not put the ball in the net, but he just slipped it into the open goal, and Tottenham lead away from home by 1-0.
What a start. What a start from Tottenham. This was the way they were going to catch Manchester City, was on the counter-attack. It's brilliant from Harry Kane to see that run of Son. Kyle Walker had pushed himself in an advanced position. He left him 1v1 Son with Diaz, and he just set off. Diaz was stranded. It was a brilliant ball through from Harry Kane. And what about Son? Keeping your composure when you get into that 18-yard area. And Kulusevski was just waiting just to pop that one into the back of the net. Well, Conte wanted the perfect start. Well, he certainly had it. His side have now got something to build on or to hang on to, whichever way you want to look at it. But an outstanding team goal from Tottenham.
Well, having lost to Wolves, Spurs, it's desperate to get something here. They haven't lost 3 in a row. They've lost 3 in a row. They haven't lost 4 in a row since 2004. Martin Jol and Jack Santini were in charge during that period. Antonio Conte would have constructed a game like this. Tottenham have a habit recently of doing this to Manchester City, especially down at the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Not so much up at the Etihad. But can they withstand the barrage of City pressure that will come their way after taking the lead after just 4 minutes? Live on TalkSport, Kane with a beautiful whipped ball round the corner, chasing down the left was Son. He faced up with Ederson, squared it to Kulusevski, and it goes straight into the net, and it is 1-0 to Tottenham Hotspur away from home. Kevin De Bruyne preparing to take a corner at the other end. We played 6 minutes live on TalkSport. It's Manchester City 0, Tottenham 1. What a start.
It was, Sam. You know, they've obviously got this corner, Manchester City. Now, it was like the rope-a-dope, wasn't it? A lot of possession from City, and then Tottenham just catching them on the break. What a fantastic goal.
Now 6 minutes 29 seconds are up over on the big scoreboard away to our right. Nancy Taylor's just sorting out a bit of pushing and shoving going on inside the 18-yard box. Diaz being held by Romero right on the edge of the 6-yard box. They're tangling again as the ball goes deep towards the far stick. Laporte heads it back across the face of goal. Rodri can't get it to Cancelo, and here comes another Spurs counter-attack, this time led by Højbjerg, fed by Kulusevski, out to the far side. Højbjerg goes down, the Dane wants a free kick, he's not going to get it. City fans not happy about that, because he looked as if he was throwing himself to the ground in order to try and ensure that he would get some sort of free kick, and it's cleared away. This is De Bruyne on the halfway line, back to Walker into Foden, and Foden trying to skip away from the challenge of Tottenham Hotspur's Rodrigo Bentancur. The ball is skewed out to the far side, and City look to build once again. Trailing by a goal to nil live on TalkSport on a busy day of Premier League action up and down the country. Lovely ball in by De Bruyne on towards the right hand side, flicked on by Foden, and he can't reach Gundogan, who is breaking from midfield into the box, and out comes Hugo Lloris, who made a couple of big mistakes actually in the game against Wolverhampton Wanderers last week. They'll need him at his secure best today.
Absolutely. There's a big question mark over Lloris now in Tottenham moving forward. Is he the goalkeeper and the captain to take them forward? And he's just made so many mistakes, but so far in this game, early stages, they've got themselves in the lead, and the big thing about that is Son.
As it's picked up by Kulusevski once again, looking for Son down that left side. Walker alert for danger, goes racing to rescue Manchester City, nudges it back, you were saying?
Yeah, there's not many clubs that come to the Etihad and take the lead, Sam, so it'll be interesting to see how Tottenham now sets up for even, let's say that the remainder of the first half. You know, do they go and try and get a second goal, or do they just wait to catch them on the counter-attack? Or, as we're seeing right in front of our eyes now, every single Spurs player behind the ball, and just basically saying to Manchester City, well, come on then, let's see what you've got, we'll soak it up and we'll just clear our lines.
Well, Manchester City have only won one of the 5 Premier League games that they have conceded the first goal in this season. That was at Arsenal on New Year's Day. They've drawn the other 2, drawn 2 and lost 2. But they've lost the ball in the centre of midfield again, and immediately Spurs spring into counter-attacking action. It's on from Højbjerg to Kane and then on to Kulusevski. They wanted to whip it left towards Son because he's the speed merchant, and it doesn't go quite in his direction. It goes back into the heart of midfield, and Højbjerg, who turns on the edge of the centre circle, pokes it wide to the left. This is Sessegnon, back to Ben Davies, and then Ben Davies helps it all the way back to Hugo Lloris, away to our right-hand side. Pep wasn't happy with the game in midweek. Everybody else was eulogising about their 5-0 win over Sporting, but he spotted problems, and I think one of those was spotted by Stuart Pearce as part of our commentary team on Tuesday night. He was saying that maybe, despite the fact that they had all of the ball and were creating loads of chances, at the other end they did have gaps which Sporting on a better day could have exploited, and it's only taken 4 minutes for Spurs to do just that.
One thing that worries Manchester City and Pep Guardiola has always been pace, Sam. I think whenever they come up against pace, they play a different style of football because they know that teams can then catch them on the counter-attack.
Walker in the midway point of the Tottenham half on the right side, gets it back to Diaz. It's all at walking pace for Manchester City at the moment, who trail by a goal to nil. It's played left towards Cancelo, whose ball was deep towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and clutching it out of the sky was Hugo Lloris. Dyer is screaming at Lloris, he's screaming back. They're arguing about the positioning of the right fullback Royal, and also the movements of Romero. And once again Spurs look to build from the back, leading by a goal to nil, courtesy of the first goal in Tottenham colours for Dejan Kulusevski, who they signed on loan on an 18-month deal with an option to buy from Juventus. He only made 5 starts for Juventus this season before the move. He's a young Swede, 21 years of age, and he's on the score sheet for the first time today. No threat from Manchester City so far as they look to try and bring in Foden down the left-hand side. Can't quite telegraph the pass to him, and it goes straight through to Lloris again, and Tottenham will build from the back. Here's Mickey Gray.
Impressive start from Tottenham. Not the start that he expected. Whenever they get the opportunity, they are trying to break forward. They are trying to use that pace of Son. There was just an occasion before where Harry Kane got himself turned and he could run at the back line of Manchester City, knowing that he probably hasn't got that burst of pace like Son has, and he had Diaz and Laporte alongside him, and just had to play it out wide. So the really impressive Kulusevski so far in this game, from what I've seen, looks really comfortable on the ball, great left foot. He's trying to drift in from that right hand side to get onto his left foot, but you just look at the way they're setting up now, Sam, and this all down to taking the lead early on in the game and saying to Man City, well, you come and break us down, let's see how good you really are.
Yeah, 10 men behind the ball and then trying to hit on the counter, and again Kane picks the ball up in that number 10 position, swivels, turns, lifts it over the top, invites Kulusevski to chase this time, doesn't quite reach him, and Laporte gets it back to the goalkeeper away to our left in Ederson. City give the ball away cheaply, and Tottenham have got it back on the halfway line, and the defence drops. The three-man Tottenham defence drops so that they've got angles for passing out from the back in order to try and invite a bit of City pressure and then hit over the top on the counter, because City do defend the halfway line. They're pushed right up against it as the ball goes through to Kane, and now he looks on, tries to spread the play towards the right and find Emerson Royale, and he's done just that, and Son's darted in behind here, and Royale's got to the edge of the area. A massive cross towards the far post, which Sessegnon was never really going to be able to control. It wasn't a brilliant ball from Emerson Royale. It needed a defter, more accurate ball into Harry Kane, who made a brilliant run to the edge of the 6-yard box, but it was overhit and it goes behind and away for a goal kick away to our left. 12.5 minutes gone. It's Manchester City 0, Tottenham Hotspur 1.
Just never looked comfortable, Emerson, over on that right hand side. When he got near the edge of the 18-yard area, he's thinking to himself, right, okay, do I take a shot on here or do I just cross it to the back stick? Well, neither. He looked comfortable, Sam. He's making those great runs when he gets the opportunity, and it was a lovely pass from Harry Kane just to spread the ball over to the right hand side. But when you get into those final third positions, you've got to be a little bit more clinical, give your forwards the opportunity of adding to this lead that they have.
Yeah, Tottenham in a good shape at the moment, and City trying to prise them open with a ball down the left for Cancelo, who's right on the edge of the area, overlapping his Gundogan, and plays it against the shins of Romero, and it goes behind and away for a corner. I think after watching the opening 13 minutes and 40 seconds, Jamie O'Hara might want to revisit some of the points that he raised in the rant earlier in the week. I don't know if you saw that on Twitter. Did you see that?
I didn't see his Twitter rant, but every time I turn the sports bar on, he's never quite happy, is he, with the Tottenham team?
Here's the De Bruyne corner into the near post. It comes out to the edge of the area and it's slashed goalwards by Cancelo. Bounces off the body of a Tottenham shirt, then goes back into the box from De Bruyne, and then hit by Bernardo Silva on the volley, left footed, but he didn't catch it right, and it was inaccurate. It went 7 yards wide of the goal away to our right hand side. We're in Manchester, where already Manchester City have suffered a significant blow in the game. They've conceded the first goal of the match. Tottenham Hotspur striking with an early jab, and Kulusevski with his first goal for the club scored it. Later on tonight, live on TalkSport and exclusive to radio on TalkSport, we've got Khan against Brook, a fight that has been maybe a decade in the making, live and exclusive to national radio from the AO Arena in Manchester. You could actually walk to it from here. Who wants to go? You going to come with me? We haven't got any tickets. All right, okay, we'll listen to it on the radio instead. Adam Catterall will lead the team, Gareth A. Davis, Connor Benn part of the commentary team, and Andy Clark behind the mic as we bring you every bit of significant action from what will be the most talked about bout this month, I think. Here is Kane just moving towards the edge of the centre circle, tries to push it out wide towards Kulusevski, then decides to go on the charge and is beaten to it by Laporte. It's helped up on the right hand side for Manchester City for Sterling to attack, and he takes on Son, then comes infield, slows up, then accelerates, then plays it infield to Walker. Now Rodri calls the ball out towards the far side, and Manchester City rather patiently look to build an attack that will get them back into this game. 1-0 to Tottenham. Walker, dead centre of the Tottenham half, used to play for Tottenham Hotspur, and I heard on TalkSport earlier on during the warm-up programme one fan saying that they hadn't ever really replaced Kyle Walker in that right-back role. Did you know 4 Swedish players have now scored on their first starts for their clubs? You know who they are in the Premier League? Oh, here's Cancelo darting into the box, going one way then the other, and then right-footed curls the ball towards the far stick, and it goes well wide of goal. But what a run that was from Cancelo. He went in between 2 Tottenham Hotspur bodies over on the far side, including Kulusevski, and he just couldn't get his foot around the ball to whip it back in at the far post.
Well, this is a complete guess.
Go on.
I'll go with Zlatan.
Yep, he's one.
Alexanderson.
Alexanderson? No.
Okay, well, you've obviously got the answers in front of you, so...
Martin Pringle, 1999, remember him?
No.
Johan Elmander, remember him, 2008?
No.
You must remember Johan Elmander, come on. You've probably played against these guys. Zlatan and now Kulusevski, the Swedes that have scored on their first starts for their club in the Premier League. Sessegnon, Kane. Lovely ball out to the far side. Emerson Royale joining the attack again. Darts into the box. He needs someone to pass the ball to, but he's inaccurate with his delivery once again. It comes out as far as Bentancur, who's bobbing towards the edge of the area. Phil Foden stops him from getting any closer, and it's cleared away to the halfway line. There's such a threat on the counter.
Well, they are, Sam, but they're getting the ball in the final third on the right-hand side, and it's fallen to the wrong man. Emerson on 2 occasions, he's been in a brilliant position. He's got 3 or 4 Spurs players running into the right areas. But it's like he can't wait to get rid of the ball. It's like a hot potato. Just compose yourself, put the ball into a decent area, and your forward players will have a chance. They're playing some super football, Tottenham.
Son by the corner flag, back towards Sessegnon once again. Sessegnon stops it, motors towards the edge of the box, releases Kane, gets it back from Kane, and then, it goes back to Davis, midway inside the Manchester City half. Son takes it on, moves away from Ruben Diaz. Bentancur is dispossessed once again, and it's picked up by Bernardo Silva, who finds Rodri, and then Gundogan allows it just to roll across his body, beats Kulusevski, runs through the centre circle and goes into the Tottenham half. He tries to turn after realising there's no one in support, and it's back towards Kevin De Bruyne. Sterling's gone out on the left and Foden's come out to the right to see if they can change things up and try and prise open this stubborn Tottenham defence, and it goes wide to Cancelo, then Sterling, Cancelo again into the area, tries to slip it past Lloris. It's saved by the big French goalkeeper. Offside flag went up anyway, and it wouldn't have counted even if it had nestled beyond Hugo Lloris. 1-0 to Tottenham.
I think that's the first time that Manchester City have actually broke with pace when they've got to the final third, over on that left hand side with Cancelo and Sterling making that pass to the byline. They've got to do that more. The only way you can break down a bank of 8 or 9 players behind the ball is if you move the ball quicker. And Man City are as good as anybody in the Premier League in doing that, but so far it's been slow, it's been languid, it's been in front of this back line of Tottenham, and they haven't just played that, what I would call that worldy pass to create an opportunity, and Tottenham are winning the ball back. They're looking forward, getting Kane, Son and Kulusevski on the ball. They're using the wing backs a lot better than I thought they would in the game, and you can just sense a bit of frustration in the crowd. I know it's early in the game, Sam, but you can sense it.
Well, City have had a bit of landing trouble this week with their plane diverted from Manchester to Liverpool on the way home from Sporting, but usually they're pretty good at taking off. They've conceded the fewest first half goals and scored 10 first half goals in the last 7 games, but getting off the ground today has been a bit of difficulty for Pep Guardiola. It is 1-0 to Tottenham Hotspur, but City have the ball over on the far side, a yard in from the touchline, gives it to Sterling. Sterling plays it infield into Gundogan, tries to twist away from Højbjerg, gets a shot towards the far corner, and I think it might well have just gone wide of the post without a touch from Lloris, and it's gone out for a goal kick, but he was springing to his left, desperately trying to get something on that because he thought it was nestling in the corner. It wasn't quite, and as a result, Manchester City have had a little warning, given a little warning to the Tottenham backline of what they're capable of for the first time in the match.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic from Raheem Sterling. Super play, a lot of pace. It actually comes off the post and goes out of play there, Sam. But Gundogan's getting in better position.
Sterling into the box, looking for Foden. It's away by Ben Davis, back out as far as Rodri, and now the onslaught begins and the tempo starts to increase from Manchester City. 20 minutes into the game, 1-0 to Tottenham. It's Sterling back on the left edge of the area to De Bruyne with his right foot, tries to carve open the Tottenham defence, and the ball to the far post, took a little deflection off Sessegnon. He's upset that it's been awarded against him, and it is a corner to Manchester City. You're listening to TalkSport. It's Manchester City 0, Tottenham Hotspur 1 on TalkSport with Now, and don't forget, with the Now Sports Day membership you can stream all the Sky Sports action, including Norwich versus Manchester City, live right now for just $11.99. No, not Norwich, Manchester City. Manchester City versus Tottenham live right now. Without a contract, search Now Sports. There's a long-range shot from the edge of the area, goes whistling past the post, and it's away for a goal kick away to our right hand side, and Cancelo just starting to try and get his range in. He's had a couple of efforts now, all wide of target, the latest of which whistled well past the left hand upright, although had it gone in on target, Hugo Lloris was stuck to the floor.
Well, it's as if they know themselves, the Manchester City players, that the tempo of the game is not being quick enough, and they've just upped the ante a little bit. They've just went through the gears on 2 occasions. Raheem Sterling bursting with his pace to get to the edge of the 18-yard area, pulling it back for Gundogan, hits the post, and then Cancelo from the corner. He just slices across it a little bit, but they know themselves that it's been nice possession football, but there's a time in a game where you've just got to, up the ante, as I mentioned before there, and say to yourselves, right,
Son's running again here, if they can find him, and they have done. It's Kane running the ball through the middle of the City defence, out towards the left, and this time Son has to retreat because Walker has reacted to it very well and blocked off that little lane in which he was trying to get beyond the Manchester City defence. And now Walker and Diaz getting each other's way, and Kane tries to get it away from Laporte on the edge of the area. Rodri goes down under pressure. It's a free kick which is given against Harry Kane, but that Manchester City defence unsettled by the pace of Son, and Walker had to come into emergency action in order to stop him from racing away down the left channel again.
Communication between your centre half and your full-back. Who's going to head the ball? Who's going to clear the lines? I do say, Sam, in that build-up when Son made his run through, he did look offside.
Here's Sterling, left side, on to Cancelo. Cancelo moving towards the edge of the 18-yard box, blocked after a bit of poor control from Kevin De Bruyne and sent wide towards Kulusevski, who runs up towards the halfway line, plays it square to Son, but it was not a great ball actually from Kulusevski, and now there's a chance for City to turn the ball over quickly, and they found Sterling into the area, plays it to Foden, who strikes it, blocked by Ben Davies and repelled to the halfway line. Cancelo out to the left, Gundogan looking up, trying to find a way of probing this back line once again. De Bruyne in towards Foden, almost got a touch on it, didn't quite. It goes all the way through to Hugo Lloris away to our right hand side, but City have turned up the temperature a little bit. They're still vulnerable to the counter-attack, but they have turned up the heat on Tottenham Hotspur, who lead by a goal to nil. Live on Talk Sport with Sam Matterface and Mickey Gray, live at the Etihad Stadium here in Manchester, just down the road from the AO Arena, where we'll have Khan against Kell Brook a little bit later on.
Antonio Conte just in front of us, Sam. He's got his arms in the air when Hugo Lloris had the ball, just saying, hold on to it, calm the game down.
Emerson Royale not prepared to do that, shoots from distance over the top of the bar from 25 yards after running down the right with the ball at his feet. He travelled a long way with it. The former Barcelona man, once again, didn't really have the accuracy to trouble anybody inside the area, especially not Edison, who will be disappointed that he's conceded today. He usually keeps a clean sheet. He's got more clean sheets than any other goalkeeper this season in the Premier League. Something that Tottenham don't do very often, actually. Antonio Conte, we know about his interviews this week, which were probably mixed up, misinterpreted somehow, maybe just a little bit, but I think he was probably giving a little window of insight into what he feels about the recruitment over the last few years at Tottenham Hotspur. He wants defenders, and that's no surprise, by the way, because they haven't kept a clean sheet since New Year's Day, and that was against Watford.
I think it's 8 clean sheets this season, Sam, am I right?
And that would have been well before New Year's Day. I would have think that most of those came in. And one of those was against Manchester City, of course, on the opening day of the season under Nuno. Here is Gundogan trying to get the better of Højbjerg, edge of the area, won by Son, back to Davis, and then Dyer under pressure elegantly clips the ball into Kane, back to Højbjerg, who's volleyed the ball down into the left channel, and Son is racing away again. He's the only one who can really give Walker a run for his money in terms of pace, but Walker was matching him stride for stride, and then when Son had to slow up to keep the ball in play down in the near corner on the left as Tottenham look at it, Walker was there to nab it. Superb build-up play again from Tottenham, trying to use that pace of Son. In any other game, if they're playing against any other team without Kyle Walker in it, it's a great break from Tottenham because he kept the ball in really well there, Son. That was a very good foot race. Here is Cancelo for Manchester City, who trail by a goal to nil after 26 minutes live on TalkSport on what has been a crazy day up and down the country. They've already brought you West Ham and Newcastle. That was a draw 1-1 earlier on today. Everton lost to in-form Saints. Here's Bernardo Silva trying to get on the end of a Kevin De Bruyne pass. It's hacked out of play by Lloris and gone towards the near touchline, and then De Bruyne just pushed Sessegnon in the back. There does seem to be a problem here for Højbjerg, which Anthony Taylor, the referee, wants to just check on. And as a result of that, we'll give you some headlines from elsewhere. I mentioned that Everton lost to informed Saints today, but Arsenal beat Brentford to go within a point of the top four. They've got 2 games in hand, soon to be 3 on Manchester United. Watford scored for the first time under Roy Hodgson to win at Villa. Burnley off the bottom of the table with a cracking win away at Brighton, and Norwich replaced them after defeat at Liverpool. Fulham lost to Huddersfield in the Championship on TalkSport 2 earlier on. Derby got a 92nd minute winner at Posh to go within 5 points.
Another late winner, or another late goal.
Good old Wayne Rooney's doing a sterling job there. Sunderland lost in League One, Mickey, I'm afraid.
I was hoping that you weren't going to look that far down the leagues to see that result, but yeah.
Wycombe 5, Cheltenham 5. What a result that was.
That was absolutely amazing.
4 goals in that game. Lots to talk about. If you want to discuss it and you're driving home tonight, TalkSport 2, Jordan Jarrett by Brian is already taking your calls. 0371722 3344. And Ipswich, they won today, did they? Yeah. Now producer Izzy very happy about that.
And as Faye just pointed out to me, Luton's result against West Bromwich Albion today.
All right, we can all mention our own teams. Anybody else anybody else want to mention anyone else? Here is Laporte over on the far side. We'll be here all day. Here on the far touchline is Cancelo for Manchester City. Their result at the moment not looking so favourable. They square it to Walker, who's wandered into midfield. Out on the right is Kevin De Bruyne. Now Foden looking to take on Sessegnon, beats him easily, swivels away from him, gets into the box, accelerates, pulls the trigger to try and get it through to Sterling. Sterling surrounded by players, helps it on towards Cancelo, who's tackled by Emerson Royale. He's pushed out to the far side of the penalty area. Romero goes across, he's scrapping and fighting for it in front of the Tottenham fans, away to our right hand side. And they've reacted brilliantly to that foot race and that battle between Romero and Cancelo just in from the corner flag.
Well, isn't that what you want to see from your players? The challenge initially from Emerson had to be right. It was in the 18-yard area. He gets it spot on, and then using his strength, Romero, just to say, you're not getting anywhere near this ball. They are fighting and they're scrapping for everything at the moment, Simon. Again, every single time City get on the ball in that final third, every Tottenham player behind the ball, it's going to be really difficult to break down.
It's going to be difficult to break down, but if anyone can do it, Manchester City can do it. 19 wins in 21 matches in all competitions. That's one of the reasons why they did go at one stage 12 points clear at the top of the table. It's 9 points that they can go back to tonight, I think, with a victory here. Liverpool winning earlier in the day, and they've scored so many goals, Mickey. Without that out-and-out striker that we talk about so much, they're still prolific. 42 goals in their last 13 games.
What else can you say, Sam? Well, I think it was 42 points or 43 points out the last 45 since they lost against Crystal Palace in the league. It's a juggernaut. They're absolutely amazing to watch.
Long time to hang on for Tottenham Hotspur, relieved by a goal to nil. Here's Bernardo Silva tiptoeing towards the edge of the box, finds Rodri, and Gundogan goes for a scorpion kick which goes behind, and the only towel that he stings is his own, and he goes to the floor, and it's away for a goal kick away to our right. We played half an hour. It's currently Manchester City 0, Tottenham 1. And for the latest odds, you can head to Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Manchester City to win the game at 7-10. The draw is 3-1. Spurs 10-3. They are 1-0 up. That's all thanks to Betfair, where you'll get no cash-out suspensions on match odds and over-under goal markets on football. Yeah, that little roar that you heard was because City wanted a free kick. It was given against Sterling, and Emerson Royale has been awarded it instead.
Yeah, just a little bit of frustration. Again, they're not going to rush anything. You can hear the Man City supporters now because Tottenham are taking the time over this free kick, changing the taker. But what Tottenham have done great is they've suffocated Man City. They're trying to go through the middle of them. It's not working for them. They have to start getting into those wide areas and start getting the ball into the area with a little bit better quality. We question Tottenham's from the right-hand side. Well, Man City themselves have got to do the same.
Tony Cascarino was quite critical of the Tottenham defence. Oh dear. Not surprised. He said they haven't got great defenders. Ryan Sessegnon's certainly going to come in for some criticism because he's just given away a foul throw.
You don't see that very often. I'm sure it's something
that's a 2-week fine, Matt. Sorry.
Well, in my day, Sam, we had to practice it. I'm sure that these players don't do that.
Ball played down the left-hand side looking for Sterling. I hate foul throws. So it's one of those basic things you can't do.
It's like that and hitting the first man on a corner. They're the two things that annoy everybody, I think.
Yeah, well, Tony Cascarino was talking about them in detail in the Times and on Weekend Sports Breakfast this week and last, actually, about the Tottenham frailties in defence. And those frailties that he discussed haven't actually been in evidence so far today, but they do have Eric Dyer back at the heart of defence, and he seems to glue them together better than most. And Antonio Conte's had to rely on him. He's screaming from the touchline, trying to organise his troops. And will those eventually be opened up once again? And they usually are. Here is Laporte down the left. Manchester City will hope so. They trail by a goal to nil. 33 on the clock. It's played infield to Rodri, who's 5 yards back from the edge of the area. He goes down the left to Foden, then plays it back towards Sterling. Right-footed ball into the box. It's a dangerous zone. Comes back to Gundogan, and those fractures are exposed. A terrible goalkeeping error from Hugo Lloris. He pushes the initial shot straight into the path of Gundogan, and Gundogan smashes it into the net, and it's 1-1 after 33 minutes. Sterling's ball into the box. Lloris with another handling error, and Gundogan was there to slam it home. It's 1-1.
Well, we did say it was a matter of time just before they go through the gears, Manchester City, and they get themselves into a better area. Well, they certainly did this time on that left-hand side with Raheem Sterling. Just whips that ball into the area, but what is Hugo Lloris doing? I mean, Kevin De Bruyne is running in on him, but you have to be brave as a goalkeeper. This is happening too many times to the Tottenham goalkeeper. If you're going to come and you're going to collect that cross, you have to go in 100%. He doesn't get anywhere near it. Looks like it comes off his knees as it's going to ground, falls into the path of Gundogan, who just with his left foot just slots it into the back of the goal. But you can see Eric Dyer, he's probably the closest defender to Lloris. He's on his knees, banging the grass, probably saying to himself, it's happened again. They've been superb so far, Tottenham, in the discipline in this game, but it's gone out the window now, Sam, because they're on level terms, Manchester City, when really the goalkeeper should have came out, he should have collected everything. If anybody's homing down on you like Kevin De Bruyne is there, as a goalkeeper, you come out, you take the ball and you take the man. You say, this is my area, I'm coming to collect that ball. He's got it completely wrong yet again.
It's terrible goalkeeping. And it was the same last week in the game against Wolverhampton Wanderers, and I'm sure Antonio Conte will be absolutely furious about that.
He's letting his team down, Sam. Okay, once or twice the manager might say, right, well, that's fine, you've made a mistake, on other occasions you've actually saved us. But when it's happening every single week, you have to start pointing the finger and questioning your goalkeeper.
Sessegnon darting down the left, playing the ball infield for Højbjerg. It's cleared away, and Tottenham lose possession once again. And you just wonder how they're going to react to that, Mickey, because we felt as if the onslaught was coming, but Tottenham Hotspur looked quite rigid. But then a mistake by the goalkeeper opens you up, and do you lose confidence then? Do you lose that stubbornness not to be beaten because you know that there's a frailty behind you?
Well, you know exactly what I'd be doing. I know Phil Foden's breaking down on the right hand side now, but if you get the ball in a wide area now, whether you be Cancelo, Sterling, Foden, or even Kyle Walker or De Bruyne on this right hand side, you are putting the ball into the area.
Ball out on the left hand side with Manchester City, who are back in the game now, 1-1, 10 minutes before half time. It's collected by Sterling, who's under pressure from Kulusevski, who scored the Spurs goal after 4 minutes. And still Manchester City have the ball, and now they slow it up, play it to Sterling, wearing green boots today, goes infield, finds Laporte swings it out towards the near side in the right full-back position, just moving infield to almost a central midfielder's position before whipping it to Foden back to De Bruyne, lovely ball towards the far post, no one there to gobble up the chance. It comes out to Cancelo, edge of the area, gets onto his right foot, strikes, takes a little deflection, and he thinks it should be a corner. Anthony Taylor says goal kick, and everyone inside this stadium who's not wearing a Tottenham shirt thinks the same.
It's a corner. It takes a deflection. I think it's Holberg who comes out from the back, as Cancelo's to take that strike on, takes a little nick off his shin, misses the target. Oh, you just have to listen to the boos and the Man City players surrounding the referee.
A slow start by Manchester City, exposed by Tottenham, but certainly City have come back into the game, and they've got the equalising goal thanks to İlkay Gündoğan, his 5th Premier League goal of the season and his 7th all told. He was their top scorer last year, was the main source of goals last year, but he hasn't been seen as much this campaign, such as the competition for places in this wonderful Manchester City squad. They thought they might get a goal. They've won the ball high up inside Tottenham half of the pitch. Great tackle by Bentancur, who slides in. His slender figure comes from the blind side of De Bruyne and wins the ball, turns it over, plays it to the right, then the left. It goes to Sessegnon. He's lost the ball this time, Bentancur, and Rodri's got it back, exchanges passes with Bernardo Silva, then gives it away to Emerson Royal, and then Romero trying to play out from the back. But City aren't just giving anything away now. They're up and at Tottenham, right in their faces. They're pushed right up on the back line. Every time a defender gets on the ball, they've not got a moment before they're suffocated by a swarm of blue shirts.
City are playing like I thought they would have started the game. They're on the front foot, they're all pressing together. You can see them winning the ball higher up the field.
Well, they've given a foul here for a challenge on Ryan Sessegnon. I mean, to say it's generous, it's probably slightly slightly over the top, because honestly it was probably underplaying actually, because it wasn't a foul.
It's
really
been windy, Sam.
Oh yeah, really windy.
It's been windy over the last couple of days, so maybe that's why he went to ground. But they just need a breather whenever they get the opportunity, Tottenham.
Here is Kane running through the middle. Ruben Dias slides in brilliantly and gets it on the edge of the D. It's taken on by Rodri, who darts out towards the near side. Højbjerg gets it back to Davis, and then Tottenham they give the ball away again. Bentancur's giving it to Foden. That's dangerous. He flicks it between two white shirts, looks for Kevin De Bruyne, won by Kulusevski, and then it goes back to Højbjerg, who I think maybe should have passed it over the top for Kulusevski to run onto. Whether or not Højbjerg didn't fancy Kulusevski's pace against Walker or not, probably stopped him from doing so. Given away again by City as Spurs turn it over. A bit scrappy this period of the game with 7 minutes to go before half time. It's been switching hands far too often for both managers' liking. Conte is halfway down the right side of the pitch here. He's out of his technical area. He's come back to within its perimeter now, but he's not very happy in a black puffer jacket and dark slacks, watching on as City fashion another attack. Mickey down the left with Cancelo to Sterling, who just bends. He's got such a low centre of gravity. He moves towards the edge of the 18-yard box, gives it to Gündoğan. Rodri now to the other side, and De Bruyne, a low ball into the box, which is feathered away by Romero. He's got more work to do here, almost heads it straight into the path of Foden, but across comes Davis on the left side of the box and hooks it to the halfway line, and it remains 1-1. We're heading towards half-time. You're listening to TalkSport. It's Manchester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 1 on TalkSport with We Buy Any Car. Sell your car in under an hour, leaving you with more time to enjoy the football. Here is Foden right side, moving up towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Walker, De Bruyne trying to turn. It's in towards Bernardo Silva, who's twisting, he's turning, he's trying to lay it off to De Bruyne, but couldn't quite. It's bumped away by Højbjerg, but only as far as Rodri, who finds Cancelo, who skates into the box down the left side. He's then chased by Royal. It goes back to De Bruyne, and all of a sudden Manchester City are starting to up the momentum a little bit. Walker gets the ball and plays it out to the right-hand side. 40 minutes on the clock, and this is a applause to a Manchester City supporter. This is why everyone in the ground is standing. Darren Blair, who passed away a couple of weeks ago, a big Manchester City blue, and all of the supporters inside the stadium are paying tribute to him. They did it away at Norwich, they did it in Lisbon as well. and they're doing it today, their first home game back. Here's Sterling down the left, dancing towards the edge of the area, sets it back to the edge of the 18-yard box. It's missed by Rodri, comes to De Bruyne, helps it to Ruben Diaz. They're all in the attack now, those blue shirts. There's no one within 15 yards of the City half. They're all deep inside Tottenham territory. Walker into the box, Sterling arriving, blocked by Emerson Royale, and it goes out to the far side. Smothering City. Well, Emerson Royale has now dropped to the floor and says that he's got a head injury. I think Sterling hit the ball against his knee, didn't he? Anyway, he slowed the attack. It certainly felt like the momentum was with Manchester City. They were smothering Spurs, and he's just rather sensibly gone down, holding the back of his head and saying, oh, hold on, I need to calm this down a little bit.
Yeah, well, I hope Emerson's okay. It was a fantastic block because Raheem Sterling was running in on goal, tried to play it first time. We're just seeing a replay of it now. I mean, there's a bit of contact on the back of his head from Raheem Sterling's elbow, but you could just sense Manchester City. And I talked about that piece of string. It's like an arc. They go from left to right. They do it 2 or 3 times before they get to the edge of the 18-yard area, and that's when they spring to life. But Tottenham, I talk about this suffocation. City are trying to go through the middle of them, and Tottenham have got 3 centre-halves. They've got 2 older midfield players in there. It's very, very difficult. The pass has to be so precise. And they've been fantastic, the possession of Man City. I think Tottenham can't wait to get to half-time, basically, at the moment, so Conte can maybe readdress what he needs to do in the second 45. But the way they pass the ball around Man City, and they make you drop off, you're nearly on top of your goalkeeper. But since that 33rd minute, Sam, with a mistake from Lloris, I talked about getting the ball into the box and putting pressure on Lloris, because he's obviously nervous at the moment. They've not done it once.
Bernardo Silva into the box, looking for the ball which was played to him by Kevin De Bruyne. He goes down under a tiny flick from Eric Dyer. They have a conversation in Portuguese, Dyer and Bernardo Silva. Of course, a native pretty much of Lisbon. Eric Dyer, who was there for all of his formative years, really. Very good Portuguese speaker. Plays it out towards this near side. He was in the Sporting Lisbon Academy for many years. Here is Foden, infield to De Bruyne, out to the left it goes, and now it's collected by Cancelo. Manchester City looking to finish the first half with a bit of a flourish. They move up towards the midway point at the Tottenham half, then work it left again. They're deep now inside their territory. They've got lots of people on the edge of the box, but nobody really in there with the killer instinct to put the balls away. You do just wonder, I know we talk a lot about it, how many points they would have and how many goals they would have if they had Harry Kane up front. Maybe Harry Kane's thinking the same thing. He's only scored 5 Premier League goals this season himself, and Ilkay Gundogan's got the same number, and he's hardly started for Manchester City. Ball sent down the left-hand side, looking for the run of Cancelo. It's out of play, it's away for a goal kick.
Well, maybe not just Harry Kane, Sam, but even Sergio Aguero, who done it for many, many years in a Man City shirt. But the way that they play, it's very difficult to criticise them, because they still score a huge amount of goals. But there is times where you just think to yourself, the instinct of a striker would make that certain run into the 6-yard box, and the amount of simple tap-ins that forward players would get playing in this City team, the way that they play, midfield players don't have that same instinct.
Walker bounds into opposition territory down the right hand side, 4 or 5 yards in from the right touchline. He angles the ball back to Kevin De Bruyne, and it's sent out wide towards the left hand side. It goes back from left to right from Cancelo, looking for Foden. It's flicked away by Sessegnon. It's out for a Manchester City throw down by the corner flag. City often superb and often very good at prizing open the most stubborn of defences. They've already managed to score against Tottenham, despite really not creating that many clear-cut chances, but mainly because of Lloris's error. Here is Sterling down the left, trying to open up that City defence, that Tottenham defence again. Romero is all over him. The ball goes out of play and away for a goal kick, and the Tottenham fans cheer on their resolute defenders once again. It's Manchester City 1, Tottenham 1, 2 minutes added time. And here's TalkSport's Mickey Gray. It's been quite a first half, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. I think Conte will be pretty pleased with the way that his side started, obviously getting off to the perfect start after 4 minutes. Superb play. The only way they were going to break Man City down, in my eyes, was catching them on the counter-attack. Well, they certainly did after 4 minutes. A Harry Kane reverse pass Son using his pace, and then what a brilliant finish from Kulusevski, who just had to tap it into the back of the net. But since that moment, you have to say it's been all Man City, but certain times in the game I think they've got to up the ante, if you like. They've got to go through the gears. They've made that change of bringing Foden over to the right hand side and Sterling to the left, which I think has worked for them. It got them back into the game, but I still think they'll be a little bit disappointed at the way that the first 45 minutes has gone for them.
Antonio Conte and Pep Guardiola just went over to one another and met in the middle of the two technical areas and had a little conversation as an offside flag goes up against Harry Kane. Conte had his hand across his mouth so we couldn't hear what he was saying. We could do a caption competition, couldn't we? 81089 on the text. What did Conte say to Guardiola? I'm an Italian football manager, get me out of here. Walker has it on the right hand side, back to Ruben Diaz. Well, give us one of your players, you've got enough. Why don't we play 12 versus 10 in the second half? It might be more even. Manchester City certainly have dominated the possession of the football, despite the fact that Tottenham took the lead, and they've had the better of the ball and other chances since Tottenham scored after 4 minutes through Kulusevski. That was the opening barb in what was a one-sided fight, really. Manchester City responded. They had shots from Cancelo well wide of goal, but they only made the breakthrough when Hugo Lloris came diving towards the ball and mishandled a ball in from the left from Raheem Sterling, feeding Ilkay Gundogan, who couldn't help but slam it into an empty net. Good start from Tottenham. It went all one way after that. At half-time, it's 1-1. Well, this will be the fourth successive meeting in all competitions between City and Spurs, where Tottenham have turned up with a different manager or head coach in the dugout. Jose Mourinho was new when they first met in the Premier League in February 2021. Ryan Mason in the League Cup final of 2021. Espirito Santo in August 21. And now Antonio Conte. City have won 8 of the last meetings here, and after what was a difficult start, and Tottenham really got into the game with a brilliant game plan. I think they set up perfectly, didn't they? The idea was to hit City on the counter-attack, Mickey Gray, and hold on to what they could grab. They did exactly that, scored a goal, and then decided to defend. And if it hadn't have been for that error from Hugo Lloris, they'd still be in front now.
And what a first half it could have been for them. I think most sides come to the Etihad, Sam, with a game plan of sitting back and trying to catch Manchester City on the counter-attack, but there's not many can do it. Crystal Palace, back in October, they managed to do it, but everybody since has not been able to. And Conte's come with that game plan, and I still think they can improve. They can get better. Talk about the quality of Emerson on the right-hand side. Sessegnon has not really been over the halfway line. He's not really had to because he's got the pace of Son in front of him, but the more this game goes on, the more it opens up. I'm expecting him to start to create a few problems for Man City down the left-hand side.
Indeed. Well, no changes at half-time from either of the two teams. Manchester City in light blue all the way from head to toe, attacking the goal away to our left. They've got Ederson in goal, Walker, Diaz, Laporte and Cancelo, Rodri and Gundogan in midfield, and then a floating foursome of De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Foden and Sterling, who have interchanged positions as the afternoon has gone on. And they have the ball over on the right hand side with Foden, who started on the left, is now on the right, tries to nudge it back to De Bruyne but finds Walker instead. Then Rodri plays it back to Foden inside the area, loses his footing, goes down, but there was no one in white that was responsible for that, and Tottenham try to bring it away, but under real pressure Son gives it to Sessegnon. His clearance finds Kane. They need to try and get it out to Kulusevski. They found Royale, who's bounced up towards the halfway line. Here's Kulusevski, and he can't continue with the run. He's dispossessed by Cancelo, who darts into the opposite half of the pitch. He's then brought down. It's a free kick to Manchester City after 1 minute of the second half, and Tottenham have got Lloris in goal, Emerson, Royale, Romero, Dyer, Davis and Sessegnon as the back five. It's Højbjerg and Bentancur in midfield with Kulusevski and Son behind Kane. Ball into the box from the right by Foden, headed away by Dyer. Further clear by Kane, but picked up by Laporte. And the second half has started, Mickey, in a very similar pattern to the way that the first half ended, with City on the attack. And Walker going down the right, tries to keep it in after a long ball forward by Diaz. Couldn't quite see it back to a blue City shirt.
Well, how many goals do you see Manchester City scoring from that move? Rodri picking up the ball in the centre circle and waiting for that run of Kyle Walker. I thought he had a lot more time than he maybe thought himself. Kyle Walker trying to play it first time.
Cancelo down the left for Manchester City, thunders the ball into the chest of Emerson Royal, and they concede a corner. It's the first of the second half to Manchester City. And then Aymeric Laporte's come trotting up from the back. Of course, he scored from a set piece against Tottenham in the Carabao Cup final back in April. The winning goal, it turned out. And he's lined up alongside Ruben Diaz right in the middle of that congested Tottenham penalty area. The ball's deep towards the far post. Laporte was underneath it. Royal read it and managed to flick it clear. It's out for a corner on the other side. And two in quick succession at the start of the second half for Manchester City, who have come out with a renewed determination.
Yeah, certainly got that vigour about them. They just played a short corner.
Foden drips it to the far post. Diaz heads it down. This time Lloris manages to handle it, brings it into his chest and then kicks it clear. Ederson, acting as the perfect sweeper keeper, comes out into the left full-back position, deals with the loose ball under pressure from Kulusevski, and it goes all the way through to De Bruyne, who's in the right full-back position.
It's unreal, isn't it? I mean, he's so good with his feet. You don't actually panic when Emerson comes out of his 18-yard box. We were here a few weeks ago for the FA Cup game against Fulham. He was actually ahead of his two centre-halves. He just wants to get involved. I think he gets bored at times in games, Sam.
The ball's hardly in the half, but he's in. He's usually quite lonely back there. Here is De Bruyne, flicking the ball towards the edge of the area, takes a little nudge off Højbjerg and almost squirted through to Gundogan, who'd made a third man run into the box. It's collected by Foden over on the far side, and now it's with Walker, and then across to Laporte. Laporte, eyes darting, plays it to the left and finds Raheem Sterling. Infield it goes. Gundogan back to Walker. It's 1-1 on TalkSport. Live and exclusive coverage from the Etihad Stadium as Manchester City come forward again down the right with Foden to De Bruyne. A lovely cross into the box. It's flicked away. It comes out on the edge of the area, and then Cancelo, under pressure from Kulusevski, is nudged off the ball. They turn it back down the left, looking for Sterling, cut out by Emerson Royal this time, and then Cancelo didn't really do much wrong there, and Emerson Royal put it out of play thinking he was going to get a free kick, and the City fans probably a little bit happier than they were in the first half with Anthony Taylor, who turns round to Emerson Royal and says, "Oi, no diving, fella."
You know, if you do it once and you don't get away with it, don't do it a second time. Emerson just had a look up. He had nobody to play the ball to. He had 2 or 3 Man City players around him. What can I do is go to ground.
De Bruyne tries to chip the ball towards the goal, and it takes another deflection. It's another corner to Manchester City. 1-1.
They're going to have to stay so switched on, this Tottenham backline, Sam, because Man City, it's attack v defence, like it is every single time they play at the Etihad, pretty much. But it's just that one mistake, as they found in the first half, that they are waiting for. The Tottenham players have got to stay switched on.
Corner number 6. There's a bit of feistiness going on inside the area, and Dyer has been called over by Anthony Taylor. Laporte is being spoken to as well. It's the 6th corner of the game for Manchester City, all of them. They've had 68% of the ball, 11 shots, 1 on target, 5 corners. Tottenham 32% of the ball, 2 shots, 1 on target, no corners. And Manchester City edging up their percentage of the ball as the minutes tick away. 1-1. And now they've reset for the corner, which De Bruyne will take from this near side. The City left, a right footer, which will be an in-swinger. Anthony Taylor has now stopped it again, and now he said, right, I'm going to have the captains over. Here is Hugo Lloris. You can come over and have a word with me. I'll talk to you first. We'll sort this out, and then we will chat with your City counterpart Ilkay Gundogan, issue some instructions about calming your teammates down and tell them to behave themselves inside the area, and we'll get on with the game, shall we? And now we reset for a 3rd time for the corner, which still is yet to be taken, and there's still pushing going on as the ball goes in from Kevin De Bruyne towards the near post. Oh, it's hooked across the face of goal by Ruben Diaz, who stuck out his right foot and stopped it from going out, and then managed to send it almost exactly perpendicular across the goal line. Here is Sterling into the box looking for Laporte, flicks it on, goes up towards Ruben Diaz, comes back out to De Bruyne, who tries to skate down the left and he's blocked by Kulusevski. Slide tackle from Cancelo sends it out of play, and it's away for a throw-in deep inside Spurs territory. 1-1, 7 minutes gone, second half, live on TalkSport. A little bit later on, just a hop, skip and a jump from here, the AO Arena in Manchester will host the huge bout between Kell Brook and Amir Khan. Amir Khan, who hails from not too far away in Bolton, and Kell Brook of Sheffield, hoping to put on a real show tonight. We'll bring it to you live and exclusive to national radio right here on TalkSport. Make sure you join us for that. We're going straight there at 7:30 once we've finished here at the Etihad Stadium. Adam Catterall, Gareth A. Davis, Connor Ben, Andy Clark, all in situ ready to bring you live action from the boxing tonight. We can't wait for it. Late tackle on Gundogan by Romero. Referee isn't going to punish it, I don't think. He's going to allow it to go out for a throw. He's had a quick word with Romero as he runs past the Altrincham official, and City look to build again.
Well, as you mentioned, Sam, it is pretty much like the first half, where Manchester City have got to go through the gears. They've got to try and break Tottenham down, because again they're getting everybody behind the ball. But I think Tottenham, they have to show a bit more quality and a bit more authority when they do win the ball back and they do get into Man City's half in that final third.
Sterling travelling from the left into the middle of the Tottenham half. He plays it back to Diaz. It's a swarm of blue shirts just surrounding that Hugo Lloris penalty area away to our left hand side, and just the question really is how long can Tottenham keep them out for? Can they do it for the whole of the second half? Can they hit on the counter? Well, that will be their aim. Here's Kane trying to release Son again, and he sent the ball down the right, and he's found the South Korean, who's in a foot race with Walker once more. Walker manages to get back, but he's got it onto his left foot and managed to get a shot in Son. But by the time that he did manage to execute it, City had one or two players back to put him off, and it's straight into the gloves of Ederson, and it remains 1-1.
Well, that's the way they're going to break him down, using that pace of Son. But they have to work the ball so hard. When they get the ball into Harry Kane, he has to shrug off Rodri in that centre circle. He's looking for the pace of Son, who again sets off before Kyle Walker. But Kyle Walker's pace, it's absolutely ridiculous how quick that man is. Gets himself goal side and just makes it difficult for Son to get his shot away.
He's got a bit of Sheffield steel in him as well, hasn't he, Kyle Walker? Ball infield towards Laporte. Slides it forward to Sterling, gets it back to Kevin De Bruyne, who plays it wide to Sterling, back into the 6-yard box, almost came through to Bernardo Silva. He couldn't control it, and it's hacked away by Sessegnon towards the halfway line. But City are starting to put their foot to the floor once again. João Cancelo taking on Kulusevski, shrugs him off the ball. He wants a foul he's not going to get. Bentancur, poor, gives it away. Gundogan's picked it up on the edge of the area. He sent it square to Walker. Walker sizing up an opportunity, instead he goes right. It's played in by Bernardo Silva to a dangerous arc on the edge of the box. Lovely ball in, landed right on the edge of the 6-yard box. If you could put a ball anywhere as a midfield player trying to create, that's where you would put it, hoping that there was a striker there to finish it off. And of course in the Manchester City side, they don't really do that.
No, they don't. And it was Raheem Sterling. You don't talk about Tottenham players switching off. Well, it was Man City's this time. Great ball in from Bernardo Silva with his left foot, in between a centre half and a full back. And Raheem Sterling started to make the run, then he stopped, maybe thought it was going to be in an offside position. But what a great ball in.
Talks over an extension to his contract apparently ongoing. This is his 25th Premier League start in a row, Bernardo Silva, after being left out on the opening day against Tottenham Hotspur. Ball sent forward by Højbjerg as they look to escape once again, Tottenham, but calm. De Bruyne under pressure from Harry Kane, who he didn't realise was behind him. He didn't check his wing mirrors there, Kevin De Bruyne. And as a result, the ball goes all the way back to Ederson and out towards the far side. But there was a little bit more of a sweat going on there for Kevin De Bruyne than maybe there should have been.
I would like Kevin De Bruyne to switch off for a couple of seconds. Harry Kane.
It must be difficult though when you have so much of the ball and you're unchallenged for so much of the match that you're almost going through the motions, quickly passing and never really under too much pressure.
Well, I think what you have to remember is, Sam, that, the game at the minute stands at 1-1, so they still have a job to do, Manchester City, to try and win this football match. Kevin De Bruyne himself, is an absolute superstar, but at times you've got to stay switched on. You can get 2 or 3 seconds on the ball, but we're talking about the Premier League here. The game is fast and frantic. You don't get that amount of time. Your first touch has got to be precise. You get it out your feet, and you've got to know your picture, what's in front of you, what's my next move. And Kevin De Bruyne, I don't know how much time he thought he had there, but Harry Kane is going to pounce on him if he gets the opportunity. 99
goals for the season, Manchester City. Their next one will be their century. Will it be the one that wins them the game? Well, not if Kane keeps releasing balls like that, turning inside the centre circle and trying to release Kulusevski this time. Didn't quite meet its mark, went through to Ederson, but that little drop-off into that number 10 position, swivel and hit first time, has released Son on a number of occasions, and Kulusevski as well, and that's done real damage.
It's where Harry Kane picks up a perfect position, which he did in the first half, where the goal came from on 4 minutes. He's done it twice in the second half, once releasing Son, this time trying to release Kulusevski, and he's so clever at it. He knows he's got the pace to drop off deep, and he's got the pace either side of him, left and right, and that is how they're going to get out and break down Man City.
So he win the ball high up inside Tottenham territory. It's out to the left, and Gundogan, and then Sterling clips it towards the far post. It's behind everybody and goes behind and out for a goal kick. Now Anthony Taylor's under a little bit of pressure because he knows he should have given a free kick on the edge of the box to Cancelo, but allowed play on because they had the advantage, Manchester City. They didn't make it pay, and you just wonder whether or not they would have preferred the free kick.
Sam, first half, Tottenham giving the ball away, and it came from that midfield area, more so with Bentancur. Now look, he's came from a different league, and I don't know how fit he is, but he's not going to get that space and time, certainly not against a side like Manchester City. Keep giving the ball away.
Another long ball sent wide towards the left, this time by Kane, is defended by Manchester City, but Sessegnon gets the second ball and Son sends it into the box, and Kane stops it past the goalkeeper to give Tottenham a 2-1 lead. There might have been a suspicion of offside, but he ghosted in between the two centre-backs. The delivery was perfect, and Harry Kane, who could have been in blue today had Pep Guardiola had his own way, has netted a goal which has put Tottenham back in front just before the hour mark. City shocked, Kane celebrating, and Tottenham lead by 2-1.
Well, can you believe it? We just talked about Kevin De Bruyne in a Manchester City shirt switching off. 2 or 3 City players switching off. Kane starts the move, they work it out to the left-hand side. It eventually works over to Son, and he just sees the run from Harry Kane running in between the centre-halves. I mean, it's a fantastic ball, forced to Sessegnon, but as it does, they just work it really well. Sessegnon just plays it to Son, it's a simple pass, and look at the run from Kane, in between full-back and centre-half, unmarked. One of the most potent strikers in European football, and he's got a simple half-volley tap-in from the great ball in from Son, just to slot that one into the back of the net. He's not going to miss from there. It's a brilliant run, a brilliant move. Again, another counter-attacking move. City have not been in the races today. I talked about, the pace in play being so slow. They have to up the ante, because if they don't, then they're not going to get nothing out of this football match, and it's Tottenham yet again who are going to punish them.
Well, they've almost been unpenetrable this season, Manchester City. They've conceded the fewest goals that they've ever conceded after 25 games, but they've conceded twice to Tottenham Hotspur, who have come here with, I think, a really good game plan, actually. Here is Sterling down the left-hand side, in towards the near post, looking for Bernardo Silva, and tries to poke it beyond Lloris, but this time is secure. Look, ultimately, it's pretty rudimentary, the game plan. It's to try it and capitalise on the really high line of Manchester City, have darting runners spinning in behind and exposing the space behind both Diaz and Laporte, and then sitting back and soaking up as much pressure as they can handle. But it's worked to effect twice today, and actually, if truth be told, if Hugo Lloris hadn't have dropped one at the feet of Gundogan, it'd have been 2-0.
You're absolutely right, Sam. You come with a game plan, and most of the time when you come to the Etihad Stadium, that game plan changes after 4 or 5 minutes. Well, they've stuck to task, they've waited for their opportunities, they've been patient, but when those chances have come along for the forward line of Tottenham, they've punished Manchester City in every way possible. It's been superb. Yes, a question mark. You question mark the goalkeeper, but that second goal, I think it just sums up this. Do I dare say lacklustre performance from Man City? Because I feel like that's what it's been.
Yeah, they've had a couple of those, haven't they? I mean, Southampton 1-1 recently was probably one that falls into that category. You know, they've had so much of the ball, Manchester City. They've been completely on top in the match, but they just haven't had that cutting, clinical edge to take the ball into the net away to our left-hand side. A couple of shots from distance. And that's really about it. And the goal which was handed to them. Here's Kulusevski. Tottenham lead by 2-1. You're listening to Talk Sport. And, you know, it's been a week of storms. Dudley, Nunes and Conte certainly caused one with a few words earlier in the week, but he might be whipping one up here too.
Just having a look at the substitutes as well, Sam. I mean, how much can they change it? Man City trying to get themselves back into the game.
Here is Cancelo down the left in towards Bernardo Silva, whose effort was poor. He didn't have his coordinates set, and as he met the ball just left of the 6-yard box, he tried to drive it towards the near post, but he had no conviction in his efforts, and it was about 6 yards wide. Actually, it wasn't very good at all. 18 minutes gone in the second half. It's Manchester City 1, Tottenham Hotspur 2 on Talk Sport with Now. And don't forget, with the Now Sports Day membership, you can stream all the Sky Sports action, including Leeds versus Manchester United and Wolves against Leicester live tomorrow for $11.99. Without a contract, search Now Sports. Kane playing the ball towards the left. It's picked up by Bentancur. Out to the far touchline, and Sessegnon. Bentancur has joined the attack. He's infield quickly to Son, and Son's got space on the near side for Kane again. And out comes the goalkeeper this time and makes a big save right at the feet of Harry Kane. It was a great chance for 3-1 Spurs. And now De Bruyne has been brought down by Pierre Højbjerg right on the halfway line. Højbjerg gets a yellow card. It was a cynical foul, but De Bruyne's reaction was pretty poor as well.
What a move. What a move from Tottenham, from back to front. They play it through the centre of the pitch. They work it out to the left-hand side. Harry Kane just continues his run again in between two centre-halves. And you have to go down as a wonderful save from Ederson, because I'm just waiting for Harry Kane to score the third goal for Tottenham.
Wow. What an opportunity that was to finish off Manchester City. Although you say that at your peril, 64 minutes, there's no chance that Manchester City would be completely finished. There's always a couple of goals in them at any time in the match, but they're behind here. They've got to come from behind for a second time in the game. Riyad Mahrez, the top scorer, is about to come on. It's 2-1 to Tottenham at the Etihad Stadium, live on Talk Sport on this chilly winter evening here in Manchester. Well, the action is certainly hot, and it will be later when we bring you Khan versus Brook, live and exclusive to national radio from 7:30 from the AO Arena in Manchester. A much anticipated fight. We didn't expect this to be as even-handed as it has ended up being. Ball sent down the left. João Cancelo onto Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva tucks it back towards Gundogan. Right-footed drive. What a save by Lloris, who sends his left hand out towards the far corner and produces a world-class save to stop Manchester City getting back on terms.
What a save. I mean, he stayed down on the ground now, Lloris. I mean, I don't know if he's just overstretched or he's landed awkwardly, but that's Man City at their best. You know, going through the gears, working the ball from left to right. Gundogan's got so much time at the edge of the 18-yard area. Just gets it onto his right foot. He's got a lot of curl on it, pace on it. Lloris is full stretch over to left-hand side. Well, we criticised him in the first half. He's maybe had a word with himself to say, look, I need to improve, but that's an outstanding save.
Corner into the near post, not well defended at all by Bentancur, away by Emerson Royale. Back to Walker, 2-1 to Tottenham Hotspur. Mahrez about to come on. Down the right it goes to Foden, through the 6-yard box. It's cleared away by Spurs once again, and now Kane leading the charge, shrugs off De Bruyne, and then Son is looking for the ball in behind, but it wasn't accurate enough, and Bernardo Silva scurries into the right full-back position and sees it back to Ederson. The Etihad Stadium expects more chances, expects more goals, expects Manchester City to come back from here, but will they? They're trying to construct an attack down the right this time with De Bruyne and then Bernardo Silva. on the right angle of the penalty area, attacking the goal away to our left. Spurs holding firm at the moment and managing to work it back out to the left. It's picked up by Højbjerg, who's wrestling with Walker. He's charging over the halfway line, gaining yardage, eventually goes down, wanting to win a free kick, getting a free kick, and doing so actually dragged his team right up the park into Manchester City territory. Here's the change, and it's Sterling, who really we haven't seen much of in the match, Mickey Gray, coming off, and on comes Riyad Mahrez.
Yeah, not Raheem Sterling's best afternoon, I must admit that. He was involved in the Manchester City goal with that great ball into the area and the mistake from Hugo Lloris, but other than that, I expect more from Sterling. I still do believe he's Man City's best option on that left-hand side when he just bursts through the gears and that burst of pace that he's got, but we haven't seen it enough. He's had a couple of opportunities to put the ball in the area in his second half, but it's not really worked out for him. Mahrez is in form at the moment, so that's why they've made that change, Sam.
They've changed the formation as well, I think. I think they've gone to that more traditional Manchester City formation, the one pivot in Rodri, De Bruyne and Gundogan either side, Bernardo Silva on the left, Foden through the centre, and Mahrez down the right side from where he's so dangerous. And it'd be interesting to see now that right back, that right wing area, that left full back area is vulnerable for Spurs, whether or not that's a position which Manchester City are able to capitalise on. It's certainly an area where James Ward-Prowse came up with some brilliant deliveries. Maybe De Bruyne, now occupying that space, might be able to do the same. It's 2-1 to Tottenham Hotspur. You're listening to Talk Sport. The ball is over on the far side with Riyad Mahrez, the Algerian, tees it back up for Walker, goes back out to Mahrez once again, then cuts in on his left foot, then drifts the ball towards the far post looking for Bernardo Silva. It's away by Emerson Royal. It's Cancelo who tries to head it away from Kulusevski. Kulusevski battling for it, almost got away with the ball, but Rodri and Cancelo managed to double team him, and now City come back again to the edge of the area, and Bernardo Silva looking for a goal to get back on terms in a thrilling match here in the Premier League. Out to the right hand side, De Bruyne taking it on to Mahrez. Mahrez trying to get it back infield. He's surrounded by a white wall of Tottenham shirts, so he has to go centrally to Laporte, who swiftly gets it out to Cancelo. He's down by the byline, low cross into the near post, and then a flick by Gundogan came off the body of Davis and then into the arms of Lloris, and it was a little bit pinball inside that Tottenham 6-yard area, but eventually Lloris landed upon it. It is currently Manchester City 0, Tottenham Hotspur 1, and for the latest odds you can head to Betfair, the official betting partner of Talk Sports Premier League coverage. Right now you can get Manchester City at 3-1 to win the game, 9-5 the draw, 23-20 is for Spurs, and that's all thanks to Betfair, where you'll get no cash out suspensions on match odds and over under goal markets on football 18+. BeGambleAware.org. This is Talk Sport, and here's Mickey Gray.
Yeah, well, 20 minutes of normal time to go, Sam, in this game, and at the minute the Premier League title race back on, don't we?
I think I read out the wrong scoreline because it was on the script, so I'm sorry. It is Manchester City 1, Tottenham 2.
It probably surprises a lot of people though, Sam, doesn't it, the scoreline, but
yeah,
you have to credit Tottenham. It came with that game plan and they've stuck to it, and so far it's working for them, and you can sense now in the stadium there's a little bit of frustration because Man City can't break them down. They're working the ball from left to right, but I've said right the way through this game, it's just been a little bit too slow because Tottenham are getting everybody behind the ball and they're just saying, come and break us down. If you haven't got the answers, we will stick to this 2-1 lead that we've got at the moment. Thank you very much. We'll come away from the Etihad with 3 points.
Manchester City 1, Tottenham 2. 2 goals for Tottenham on the counter, really. Both inspired by Harry Kane. He didn't make the second one, he scored it, but he started the move which led to it. Here's De Bruyne towards the far post. He certainly made the first one as the ball drifts past the Tottenham defence and goes out for a throw-in down by the corner flag to Manchester City, who are looking to try and fashion a way back into the game with João Cancelo. We haven't said that very much this season, have we, about Manchester City? And Pep Guardiola maybe spotting a little bit of coming off the bridle by his team. Maybe said some things in midweek which people weren't entirely happy with. De Bruyne's ball wasn't entirely something that they'll be happy with as he sends it wide towards the left, and Bernardo Silva allows it to drift down the play, and it goes away for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. You're listening to Talk Sport. It's Manchester City 1, Tottenham 2. Don't adjust your radio, that is actually the scoreline.
It certainly is. And full credit to Conte and his team. When they've been asked the question,
he's been brilliant today, by the way. And he has the ball on the right side, and he's tried to out-muscle Rodri, and he's managed to swing it down the right corner towards Son, who's played a little back heel against Diaz. It goes down to play on this near side and away for a throw.
Look how far Conte's down the pitch. He's doing a Mourinho.
Yeah. He is. He's still going. He's tiptoeing further and further away. The fourth official's coming out and saying, "Sorry, mate, you've got to come back here. You can't go that far down. You know, I've been lenient with you, but you are taking the mick a little bit." It goes out for a goal kick away to our right after a throw-in is well defended by Manchester City. Craig Pawson is the fourth official. He's just dragged Antonio Conte back into the technical area, who promptly, I think more in defiance than anything else, has decided just to stand just outside it again. The ball is over on the far side. 2-1 to Tottenham.
I've never said this too much, Sam, when I've watched Manchester City, but I've been disappointed with Rodri today. He's normally involved in a lot of the build-up plays, the guy who wins the ball back, but I've said his name too much this afternoon.
They've won it again on the halfway line. Tottenham here, and they're coming forward once more. Kulusevski, intelligent ball back, didn't rush it, didn't decide to try too hard to force an attack which wasn't really there. So they've gone back, and there's still 17 minutes to play here. Ball right side, looking for Kulusevski, takes it out of the sky, runs towards the edge of the area. Emerson Royale comes towards him, he tries a shot, comes back to Kane trying to get it out of his feet, doesn't, squeezes it in brilliantly. Brilliant finish from Harry Kane. Over on the left-hand side, twisting, turning and firing it past the goalkeeper. They can't beat Wolves, they can't beat Saints, but when they face Manchester City, Tottenham always give it the full Conte, and Harry Kane has scored twice. With 17 minutes to go, the scoreline is Manchester City 1, Tottenham 3.
Well, would you believe it? I mean, what a ball, the build-up play. Ben Davies is the guy who picks the ball up in his own half and he plays a raking 70-yard diagonal pass across to this right-hand side to Kulusevski, who then gets it onto his left foot, whips the ball into the area with a little bit of a deflection that puts up the two Manchester City centre-halves. But when it falls to Harry Kane, he gets his body in the way. It's a great first touch. Diaz then drops off and gives him the opportunity to get his strike away. He keeps it low. And Harry Kane, you give him the opportunity to get a strike away, he is not going to let you down. He keeps it low. You do question Edison in the Man City goal. Can he get down to his right quicker? But what an outstanding finish. Oh no, and I'm just looking in front of me.
VAR has chalked the goal off for a possible offside. Now I saw the replay of that. Kulusevski was offside on this near touchline apparently. And the scoreline is now 2-1. Now, this is really tight. The ball played out towards the near touchline. Kulusevski, I think, was about, half an inch offside?
Well, Sam, I didn't see it because I thought Kulusevski was actually onside. It looked like he made his run from his own half, when Ben Davies played that diagonal pass across. Now, if that's millimetres, I'm so disappointed for them because it was a fantastic move and a brilliant finish from Kane.
It really was, and it was a fantastic finish from Harry Kane as well. But it's been chalked off, and it's only 2-1 to Manchester City as the ball goes in towards the near post, flicked behind by Bentancur, and it's out for a corner kick to Manchester City. So just 2-1 to Tottenham Hotspur, not 3-1, because that goal was chalked off by the VAR. Here is Cancelo trying to dribble the ball to the far post, saved by Lloris down low to his left, comes back to Mahrez. Mahrez gets it onto his left foot, goes down the right, cuts back in again, left footed, takes a deflection and just whistles past the post, and it's out for a goal kick. Tottenham 2-1 in front, but under the cosh again now, and City, I think, maybe encouraged by the fact that third goal for Tottenham was chalked off by the VAR.
A bit of relief from Man City. Now they've been urged forward, they've got to try and get themselves back into the game.
And Lloris has made another half-decent save, that down low to his left, had to finger it away, comes back to De Bruyne. Again, yellow card this time for Romero for pushing inside the box. Another brief delay. Here the corner then about to be taken from the near side, and Kevin De Bruyne is looking to try and swing it in towards the congested 18-yard box. Tottenham fans will be furious about that goal being chalked off. Here's Bernardo Silva into the area from a short corner. He's been allowed to wander a very long way. I'm not sure he was trying to cut that back to, but it was to no one in particular. But they've got a chance to get it back into De Bruyne now. Right footed cross towards the far post, headed away, comes out on the edge of the area. Son gets it clear. There's 13 minutes for Tottenham to hang on here. 2-1 they lead. It's out to the right. Mahrez, whose cross is headed away by Eric Dyer. Big strong header down into the middle of the Tottenham half, but it goes back to the right wing position, and again Mahrez trying to find a way through, travels infield, left footed, moves up towards the edge of the area, twists and turns. Tottenham shirts stationed everywhere, right across the 18-yard line, trying to keep City at bay. At the moment, City coming forward with Walker into Mahrez, bumps a pass back onto him. They're just about holding them off once again, as all of the City shirts are inside the Tottenham half of the field. Antonio Conte about to bring on Lucas Moura. The ball is wide left again. It's picked up, delivered into the box by Mahrez and caught by Lloris, and it's smothered by the goalkeeper, and he will attempt to clear. Lucas Moura just getting stripped and ready for action down in front of us. Another bit of pace, I think. Maybe he'll come on for Kulusevski,
who's been outstanding. His first start for Tottenham, been involved in the early goal. Whenever the balls came up to him, he's given absolutely everything in that Tottenham shirt today. So he can walk off the field, Sam, if it is going to be him, with his head held high. And after, what a performance. It's not going to go down as a pretty performance from Tottenham. They've had to defend for their lives. But you come away from the Etihad Stadium with the 2 goals that they've got and 3 points. Conte will be a very, very happy man.
Yeah, Cancelo into the box, trying to get the better of Kevin De Bruyne, and it goes back towards Diaz, who sends it long to the left, and De Bruyne's faster to it than Kulusevski, and he's taking it down towards the corner now. And here's Bernardo Silva trying to get it in on his right foot, finds Ruben Diaz instead, plays it wide. It's collected by Walker, delivered by Mahrez towards the far post, and it's headed away by Emerson Royal. Cancelo down the left, De Bruyne on towards Bernardo Silva. It's hacked away by Romero, and then in the right fullback position, Kevin De Bruyne has just kicked out Emerson Royal, nudged him off the ball. After the ball had gone, that's going to be a free kick, and De Bruyne is being warned by Anthony Taylor. Tottenham will take their time over this, and they will make a change as well. And on comes Lucas Moura, and he's going to replace Son. Bit surprised by that?
Wow, I am. It could have been any of the 2 wide players in Kulusevski or Son. They've given absolutely everything. They really have. Maybe the balance of Son, just coming off from that left-hand side. I don't know if Moura's going to actually come over to this right-hand side, and maybe Kulusevski drift over to that left-hand side. But going back to that foul we just had 20 seconds ago there, Sam, it just looked like Emerson was trying to play the ball out. Kevin De Bruyne, a little bit frustrated, just barged into his shoulder. Very fortunate to get away with not getting a yellow card. But I think that's filtering through to a few of these City players, because they're annoyed, they're frustrated. There's going to be a yellow card now.
Yeah, and it's going to go to Hugo Lloris for taking so much time over this particular
do you think the right person's been given the yellow card there? Because
it was Emerson.
Emerson was stood over the ball. He's the one who runs away from it. Hugo Lloris is in his 18-yard area, runs across to the ball. I mean, what has he done wrong?
Well, apart from throwing the ball to Ilkay Gundogan in the first half, not much. He's made a couple of good saves. Harry Kane's just gone down with a back injury. The referee has said play on. He's getting gingerly to his feet as City from the halfway line try to build an attack. 10 minutes to go here on TalkSport. Ball sent to the wide right. De Bruyne's getting furious again. Free kick is given against Bentancur, and De Bruyne upset, screaming in the face of the Uruguayan as City look to build. Down the left, João Cancelo moves towards the edge of the area. He's looking for Bernardo Silva inside the box. It goes over his head and comes right the way through to Walker. Now Kevin De Bruyne whips it straight back in. Foden tries to get there, but it's an air kick by him, and then Cancelo nabs it before Kulusevski can lead a breakaway. It's back with Bernardo Silva on the edge of the area, gets past Emerson Royal, plays it into Rodri, then on to Gundogan, tiptoes past 2 defenders, and then his final effort is blocked by Romero, and it's smothered upon by Lloris. And Harry Kane has gone down. They want to make a change, or want to certainly get some attention. The City fans are furious that there's been so much time wasting from Tottenham. I think it's been as blatant as all that in real terms, really. I mean, there has been quite a lot of time wasting, but it's not the old dark arts of Mourinho, is it?
Sam, they're playing the game. look, they've got themselves in front. Harry Kane's obviously got a problem, it looks like, in his rib area. But 2 or 3 Tottenham players have gone to ground. They've only started to waste time now that the game is nearly over. Look, they've given absolutely everything. They're absolutely shattered. They're out on their feet. Whenever they get the opportunity to go down to ground, they're going to do it. Never mind what these Man City supporters are saying, or the Man City players. Kevin De Bruyne on a couple of occasions gone crazy with the referee. He wants the game to flow because he wants that equalising goal. Well, at the minute, they've got to come up with the answers to break this back line. I wouldn't even actually say a back line of Tottenham. It's the whole team who are behind the ball. They've got to come up with the answers, and at the minute, they're getting to the final third, but that quality into the box has not been there. That's why they're losing the game.
Yeah, and now Harry Kane is just coming over to the near touchline, gingerly trying to hold on to his spine. Looks like Emerson Royale is going to come off as well, to be replaced by Doherty. Don't know whether or not Kane is going to actually be substituted. I think maybe he'll just come straight back on again. But Emerson Royale has been replaced, and he's been replaced by Matt Doherty in the right fullback position. Time ticking away. We're into the final 7.5 minutes live on TalkSport, where it's Manchester City 1, Tottenham 2, and maybe there's a few Liverpool fans celebrating tonight, thinking about the possibility of getting closer and closer to Manchester City, because the way things will stand after this, if it does stay like this, is that Manchester City will have 63 points, Liverpool 57, and Liverpool will have a game in hand and Manchester City to play. Hey, hold it, we've got a title race, Mickey. We didn't think that back in January, did we, when we were here for the Chelsea game?
And you mentioned there about a few Liverpool supporters being excited. I think the whole of the country will be, Sam, because we won a title race.
João Cancelo down the left, moves towards the edge of the area, into Rodri. Not over yet this game though. Tries to turn, fires it into the box, it's blocked by Doherty, comes out on the edge of the area, right side now for Diaz. Back to Mahrez, who delivers the ball into the box looking for Gundogan. It's away by Christian Romero, out to the far side, and it's out for a throw-in midway between the edge of the penalty area and the byline, thrown in by Mahrez. It's going to be relentless from Manchester City now. Oh, he hasn't done a foul throw, please tell me he hasn't. Mahrez, no, he's going to take it again because it was the wrong position. Okay, fair enough, you're allowed to get away with that. Here is Laporte onto De Bruyne, 10 yards in front of the centre circle. A little bit later on, it's Amir Khan against Kelbrook live on TalkSport. On the right is Walker into the near post. Little flick by Foden, goes out the other side, retrieved by Cancelo. He tries to flick it with the outside of his boot towards the far post. It's away by Davies, and behind and away for another corner to Manchester City. And boy, are Manchester City racking up the efforts on goal. 18 now. And they've had, but only 3 on target, Mickey, and that tells its own story.
It certainly does. I mean, what a ball from Kyle Walker. Worked really well to the right hand side. Another chance here, just goes a begging yet again. But Kyle Walker, I mean, as much as he goes forward, you expect him quality on that right hand side. He fizzes one along the ground. A little flick from Phil Foden, just can't get enough contact on it. The ball then comes back into the area from Cancelo. Lloris is shuffling across to his left hand post. Ben Davies clears his lines. They have just got to hang on now. They might get one more opportunity in this game, Tottenham, to break forward, but it looks like Man City it's going to be an onslaught until the end of this game. And I talked about staying switched on. If they can do it, what a massive win this could be for them.
Head collision between Davis and Dyer, and again the game is stopped, and again the clock is stopped, and again there's groans from the City fans. They're so used to winning every game here that today might be different. The last team to beat them were Crystal Palace in the Premier League. Mickey Gray was here that day. It was a long, long time ago. They've been on a magnificent run since then, Manchester City. But could they now end up losing that long, unbeaten run in this competition and open the door maybe, possibly, for Liverpool to walk through it?
Do you know, sometimes, Sam, when you hear things before the game, like Conte in his managerial career has never lost 4 games in a row, and you know, when it's being said, you go, well, this is the time it's going to happen, because they're playing against Manchester City. I think they've lost, I think it's 8 games this season. They've all been in London, 4 at home, 4 away. They come into the Etihad, and everybody's favourites in this game. Because of Tottenham's form, you have to sway towards Manchester City, but for some reason this is how you just spur your players on. You say, look, no one's expecting us to win this match. We're going to frustrate and suffocate Manchester City into, and being annoyed. When we get our chances, we have to be clinical. I was at Burnley last week. They had 4 or 5 chances against Liverpool. If you don't take your chances, you've got absolutely no chance of winning those games. Well, Tottenham have broke twice on Man City today, and they've scored 2 great goals, and they could come away with 3 huge points.
Yeah, and they'll probably be thinking they're hard done by that they didn't get a 3rd goal when Harry Kane's effort was ruled out for offside against Kulusevski. But there's just 3 minutes to play, live on TalkSport. It's City 1, Tottenham 2, and City's unbeaten run, which is 15 games long, is coming to an end as Bentancur tries to get out of a tight spot on the edge of his own penalty area. He's dragged back by Rodri and wins a free kick deep inside his own half, and that will waste another few precious seconds. And again, you know, we go back to that statistic that they've actually only won 1 of now the 6 Premier League games when they've conceded first this season. So that's the key to getting something from Manchester City. You score against them before they score against you. It's pretty simple. It's just difficult to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, look, easier said than done. But it is saying to sides, and I'm sure that, you know, the statisticians at football clubs will look at that and they say, okay, first 5 or 10 minutes is where we can find Man City are a little bit vulnerable. If we can maybe punish that and get ourselves in the lead, then we've got a chance to get something against them. You always look for that weakness, and maybe that's Man City's weakness, because individual players, there's no doubt, you know, they've got unbelievable players. But at the beginning of football matches, if they're not getting themselves in the lead themselves, they're pushing a lot of players forward, that might be a chance to break them down, get yourselves in front and give yourselves that platform to hang on to.
2 minutes to go. On come Manchester City again, down the right with Mahrez. Is there another chance? De Bruyne trying to cultivate it. Gundogan's at the far post, it goes past him. Bernardo Silva through the area. Was there a handball? The referee shakes his head. The City fans scream at the official, and it's cleared away. And now Guardiola turns round to the 4th official and says, you check please. Handball, he's saying to Craig Pawson. The ball is on the right with Walker. It's crossing towards Laporte, headed away, comes back out towards the edge of the penalty area. Kulusevski is surrounded by blue shirts. He finds Højbjerg. Was that a handball? The referee says no by Højbjerg, and Sessegnon charges to the halfway line. They're still not reviewing it as far as we understand. There's no details yet on the penalty decision. The referee is now stopping proceedings. He's waiting because the ball is out of play. Was it a handball? Was it not a handball? They are checking a possible penalty with VAR, and at the moment we aren't entirely sure whether Anthony Taylor is going to come over to the monitor to look at it. They're saying, Guardiola's saying it was hands in the air. He's going to be a penalty, that. Romero's arm was above his head. It was stretched out. He was trying to bring it down actually towards his chest, but he did touch the ball with his hand, and that stopped it from reaching a City player in the centre. What do you think?
It's got to be a penalty. It has to be a penalty, Sam. They're reviewing it, the VAR. Bernardo Silva picks the ball up after that initial cross on Kevin De Bruyne, which was cleared. The ball still stayed in the 18-yard area, but Bernardo Silva is just trying to fizz one along the ground in the 6-yard area, and Romero goes to ground, and you're right, his arm is above his head. It does make contact with his hands, and I believe it's got to be, well, he's going over to the monitor.
He's coming over to the monitor to review it. That will probably result in a penalty being given. The VAR back at Stockley Park is Lee Mason. It's a full-time job for him now, Lee Mason, as the VAR. There's going to be 7 minutes of added time anyway at the end of the game. They're looking at the decision on the monitor. Anthony Taylor is telling them to speed up, show me the actual incident please. He's asking for confirmation. He's made that decision. He's pointing to the spot, and City have a penalty in injury time at the end of the game. And what a chance this is for a point. A handball by Romero, and Tottenham Hotspur's dreams of getting all 3 points at Manchester City could be dashed, because it's a penalty kick to be taken by Riyad Mahrez away to our left-hand side. They've been awarded 7 penalties now in the last 11 Premier League games. Mahrez has scored 3 of 3. He's placed the ball on the spot. The City players are surrounding him. The white shirts of Tottenham are trying to put him off. They're being told to get to the perimeter of the penalty area now. Mahrez is looking to the heavens and trying to take in the situation. Riyad Mahrez has missed big penalties before for Manchester City. If he misses this one, there'll be a whole red half of Liverpool that will celebrate, as well as most of North London. But it's him versus Hugo Lloris for a point for Manchester City. Maybe more than that if they can score in the 7 minutes of added time as well. But this really is the biggest penalty that Mahrez has taken all season. He's placed the ball down on the penalty spot. Manchester City 2-1 down at home to Tottenham with a penalty in stoppage time to get on the scoreboard and level things up. He runs up to the ball, left-footed, drives it into the roof of the net, and it's 2-2. Manchester City come from behind twice to rescue a point at least against Tottenham Hotspur. Riyad Mahrez, their top scorer, executes the penalty brilliantly into the roof of the net, and he crushes Spurs' dream of ending their long unbeaten run. There's a reason why they're 15 games unbeaten. There's a steel, a resilience, a composure about Manchester City. They are unwavering. Tottenham give away a penalty in the final few seconds of normal time, and Riyad Mahrez lashes it home. It's 2-2.
Well, Sam, I have to say my heart was in my mouth for Riyad Mahrez, because as he was taking the penalty, I thought he got too much height on it. Well, maybe I'm doing him a little bit of disservice here, but it looks like it just goes in off the underside of the crossbar. Well, that is too close to call, I have to say.
Well, if anyone knows about penalties, it's you.
No, absolutely. No, okay. I mean, he's got 99, 10 in 10 now, I think it is, for Mahrez. He's in sensational form. He's came off the bench. Going back to the penalty, I mean, we talk about mistakes from Tottenham, and it was the only way that Man City looked as if they could break them down. Well, again, just in front of us, Cancelo let the ball go underneath his feet. But Bernardo Silva's just got a lot of pace on that ball into the area, and Romero, he's just thrown his body at it, trying to help out his team. But as he's going down, his arm is in the air, and it's the right call to give the penalty. But when Mahrez steps up to take that penalty, I don't think he meant to play it that high into the roof of the net. But it's found the back of the net, and I think this is a steal from Man City. I don't think it's been a good performance. Look, there's still a long way to go. They could actually go and win it. But I think this point at the moment has been a steal for Man City. I don't think it's been a great performance at all. 2-2.
It's been a great game. Here is Kane, who maybe will still be thinking about the fact that he should have had a third goal in the game. He chalked off offside against Kulusevski, and that would have really taken it away from Manchester City. Doherty back to Romero round the corner for Bentancur. 2-2 right at the end of the game. Kulusevski darting down the right. 94 minutes on the clock. We've got 7 added minutes. It's towards the far post. Kane is there, and he's headed it in, and now this time he's certainly won it. Now they can go the full Conte. Harry Kane, who was going to be in Pep Guardiola's team, has just absolutely pierced the atmosphere at the Etihad in the 95th minute of the game with a header from 4 yards. Kulusevski with the cross, Kane with the header, and now Tottenham are going to win it. They just will not give up this afternoon. There's no chance that they're going to leave here without 3 points. Antonio Conte runs down the touchline, he punches the air in delight, and Harry Kane has scored twice here at the Etihad this afternoon. And Tottenham Hotspur, who conceded a stoppage time penalty, have now got a stoppage time winner.
Please don't review this one. I think I've had enough of that for one day, but I don't think it is going to get reviewed, Sam, because he's onside. It's a fantastic ball into the area, and he wanted to land to one man. Well, that man's Harry Kane. Disappointment with his second goal of the evening, which was chalked off for VAR, but this one is not going to get chalked off.
Antonio Conte went running down the touchline, jumping into the arms of his staff. Ryan Mason had to catch him out of the air. What a goal from Harry Kane, who hung in the air, angled his header back across the goal, and Ederson stood there flat-footed as the ball bulged the back of the net. 3-2 to Tottenham Hotspur. What a thrilling afternoon at the Etihad Stadium. And Manchester City once again involved in a real titanic tussle with Tottenham. Remember those Champions League quarter-finals, those ding-dongs that were decided in the final few seconds? Well, this one has been almost as good. Fantastic entertainment. A non-stop roller coaster of chance after chance, but Tottenham Hotspur have reacted to every setback. Cancelo trying to chip Lloris from 30 yards straight into the arms of the French goalkeeper. We played 97 minutes. I think we've still got a couple more, Mickey Craig.
Absolutely fantastic. I mean, you could talk about players all day long and the reactions and the celebrations when they get goals. What about that man in the opposition's technical area today? Conte, in the big win that his side might be picking up this evening. I mean, it's just brilliant. Well, you look at him, he's halfway down again, down the technical area, telling his players, still giving them that advice of what to do in this game. He knows the importance of how big this football match has been for Tottenham Hotspur today.
Oh, and if they've deserved it on any occasion this season, this is it. The work rate's been great. The chances they've created have been superb. The game plan's been tactically brilliant, and they've got the better of Manchester City in terms of the number of goals that they've scored, even if they've surrendered possession to do it. Free kick given away, 20 yards from the edge of the penalty area. Is there going to be one last chance for Manchester City to get the ball in the box? Well, there is, you know. The referee giving the free kick to Manchester City. Everybody in blue comes forward. Ederson stays back. But at the far post, Laporte is in there. So is Rodrigo and Foden. It's 3-2 to Tottenham Hotspur. It's given to Walker down the right side. A low cross into the box. And it's flashed away by Romero, who was diving towards his own goal and almost put it through his own net.
Well, absolutely brilliant from Romero. Again, City worked it well on the right-hand side, but, you know, he's give that penalty away, Romero, as that ball's fizzed across, 2 yards out from the Tottenham goal. He has to get that clearance right. He goes with the left foot, he does it exactly right, he clears his lines, pat on the head from a couple of his teammates. They're hanging on, but it's been superb.
Well, we've played 8 minutes of added time now. Lucas Moura's got the ball at his feet. He thrashes it clear. Are Tottenham going to get all 3 points away at the Etihad Stadium? That unbeaten run is going to come to an end. 15 Premier League games without defeat for Manchester City. They'd won 19 of their previous 21, but Tottenham have gone at them, responded to every setback and fought back to win. 3-2 here, unless Laporte can conjure something here. Bernardo Silva into the box, right-footed, blocked by Doherty and cleared away by Lucas Moura. Kane swivelling, turning, smashing the ball over the halfway line. Kulusevski chases, Cancelo gets there first. He's just about going to keep it in, but that's not any time for them to respond. And it's victory for Tottenham Hotspur at the Etihad Stadium. Conte and Guardiola embrace after what has been an unbelievable clash between those two managers and these two teams. Conte versus Pep ends with the underdog knocking out the heavyweight and possibly opening the door for a challenger to push City in the race to be champions. It looked as if they'd rescued a point right at the very end when Romero gave away a penalty and Mahrez lashed it in. They came in so unfancied, so down on their luck, that it seemed that the Rocky scriptwriters have got hold of this game and bent it to their narrative. Somehow they still had the energy to get off the canvas again and land one final knockout blow. It came from Harry Kane, a man who earlier in the year was linked with a move to Manchester City. Pep Guardiola went after him 4 times and couldn't get his man, and now he's come back to haunt them at the Etihad Stadium and end their unbeaten run. What a fantastic match. Manchester City 2, Tottenham 3.